Namaste. I bow to the divine presence in you. In today's Michelleology, in evolution meditation. Hi, I'm Michelle, and I'm your motivator. I am motivating you on this day to be grateful, to be thankful that we are here. In spite of all the chaos, in spite of all the negativity, we are here. And so we have to celebrate our now, which is our only reality. We have to be grateful for this moment, for this second, for we don't know what else is going to come in the next second. But today I want to kind of motivate you on this miraculous motivating Monday to evolve from your slavery mentality. Now, a lot of people think slavery mentality is only based on people of color, but we have all been included in this slavery mentality that we are operating in this present moment. Romans 8:1 says that there is no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. And so we have been condemning ourselves about the things that are going on. And so we must escape. We must depart from that type of mentality. And it's for those that are in Christ Jesus, for those that are operating in the Spirit. That is how you escape from condemnation. And so we must find ourselves and define ourselves in a greater place, in a greater space than in the midst of chaos. And so you can remove yourself from that by going into the Spirit, by going into meditation, by going into prayer, by going into your quiet time, however you need to do to settle your mind. And so as we move out of this degradation, out of all of the things that we're going through, all of the giants are coming down. And so when I mean the giants are coming down, anything that has separated us, that have divided us, that have caused anger and jealousy to come among us is coming down. And it's going to start from the top to the bottom. So we're going to start with the government because they have been governing our mental to make us think that we forgot who we were. So as we come to our knowing, as we become awakened, as we move to this surface, as we move in this power, we must work on our mentality. We have been for up until age 35. Let me slow down. Up until age 35, 95% of our thinking has been influenced by the outside. And so now we're operating on what we thought was normal. It was never normal. We were just conditioned to think that. And so now in order to move or evolve away from your slavery mentality, we have also moved into the fifth dimension. That's freedom and that's unconditional love. This is the hour and the time that we get our birthrights back. This is the time that we get our inheritance back. For God left us in the will for us to have all of these things. So we're moving to this slavery mentality to a royal mentality. This is going to be the year for royalty and riches. Now, if you think you had to be in the royal family in London to be royal, that's not true. You were born of a king. So as you're born of a king, then you're a descendant of a king. You have inheritance from the king, and you have a birthright. You have a space and a place that you're seated, that you must receive certain things. And so we've been operating in one nation under God. But now God is coming to the forefront, and it's one nation in God. Because if you go within, you'll never be without. And so we've got to operate and change our way of doing things from outside and go inside. That's all the quarantine was about. Taking us back to the inner parts, our intimacy, back into the place where we were supposed to be staying at, having a relationship with God, getting our instructions, and living a life. We are the tree of life. We are not the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. That is a Maya, a deception, an illusion. And so now as we are being awakened and enlightened and the light is on, we're able to see all the things that were covered up. We're able to see all the people that were deceptive. And now we're moving into that, and we're getting our inheritance, our truth, our being to be, and to have. We're coming to the forefront. We are no longer be at the end of the line. The last is coming to the first, and the first is going to the last. And we're taking our right position in the kingdom. And so as we begin to do that, we begin to open ourselves up to be happy. We begin to open ourselves up to live, love, and laugh. And we open ourselves up to a space and a place that we're not familiar with because we've been conditioned. And so now all of those things that have been downloaded into your subconscious suddenly arises in certain spaces. So we have to delete those things and replace them with positivity, replace them with the knowledge that we now have of who we are. We're coming to our highest version and our authenticity of ourselves. And we're not being led by people that are leading us to an illusion. We now can see, if you're awake, those delusional people, those people that have been undercover, that have actually been wolves and just mean, and we're thinking they're smiling in our face and they're like, yeah, I'm here to help you, but they've been doing some undercover things. So now as we move into one nation in God instead of one nation under God, we are moving into our highest version of ourselves. So the first thing that I'm going to offer to you to move from that slavery mentality is to begin to meditate. That once you meditate and pray and ask God for wisdom to see and to do and to have, He will direct your path. And so all the noise is quieted down that we've been hearing in our minds, and we're beginning to meditate on those things that are honest, those things that are true, those things that are awesome that are in our lives. And we're breathing now. We're breathing the air, and our soul is becoming awake again. Our souls were hijacked. And so now we've been freed. We're walking in the fifth dimension of freedom and unconditional love. We are right now in the probation period, which is the 40 days from January 1st to February the 9th, or 40 days, and it's going to rain during that 40 days. And I don't mean necessarily physical rain. I'm saying there's going to be one thing behind the other. From the top, you're going to see the top being unveiled. From one thing to the other, you're going to see things that you've never seen before. You're going to see things that you say, I can't believe that, because you are so in a trance. We've been placed in a trance, but now we are trancing out. We're trancing out. We're going to cross through and beyond the things that they placed in us, conditioned us to stay at. So this is a movement. We're being moved, and the earth is being judged. The government is being judged. And as the judgment is complete, the freedom is going to be revealed. So this is Michelle, and I'm your motivator. On this motivating moving Monday, as we begin to dive into evolving from our slavery mentality, there's some opening of doors that you're going to see. There's some freedom. There's some unforgiveness that you're just going to just release, because there's not going to be a need for it. You're going to get your inheritance. You're going to get your birthrights. You're going to have your nationality. It can't be stopped now. It cannot be stopped. And the only thing that will stop it, if you refuse not to wake up, if you refuse to look for normal, if you refuse to think that all of this is not true, then you'll continue to stay in your same place. But as you begin to move and awake, it allows God to take you to the space and the place that He has purpose for you, He has destined for you. You are walking in royalty and riches. And so as you begin to awake and get your inheritance, then you will begin to become comfortable being in royalty. You'll become comfortable in being in riches. Your selfishness will just melt away, because we're all coming to the front of the line so that we can be blessed at the same time. And as we're blessed at the same time, there's no need for jealousy. There's no need for competition. There's no need for hate, because we're all being balanced and we'll all have the same thing. So we'll be equal in what we have, instead of some people having more and some people having less, if you stay awake and stay enlightened. So don't come back and say, well, you told us this, but you have to ask yourself and examine yourself to see if you are awake and alert and you're mindful of the things of Christ. As Romans said, 8:1, it said, therefore, now there is no condemnation. Now, so you got to be in the reality of now, not the old, not the past, and not the future, but you got to stay right here, focused on right now. That is your only true reality. Well, this is Michelle, and I am your motivator. Remember, you've been created by the Creator to be created. So start creating your creations and stop duplicating others. May the love, joy, peace, and power and sound-mindedness be your soul food for today. Again, I bow to the divine presence in you because you are royalty. Be blessed.